So I guess let me ask you guys a question. Are there things that you desire in a partner that you do not possess? Here, let's go around the table. Do men and women want different things?
Yes.
These fucking crickets over here, Jesus Christ. Do men and women want different things?
I think there's definitely different things they want.
Sometimes they
Maybe.
want the same things, but
Yeah.
are there different things that they want?
I mean, I definitely have to think about that, but I believe yes, most likely.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are women attracted to strong, muscular men? Generally speaking.
I would say so.
Okay. Do you think most men care about a woman's physical strength?
No.
It's not really a factor. Some guys like fit girls, whatever. Some guys have a kink for big bodybuilder women. That's fine. But generally speaking, most men, your physical strength doesn't really matter to us. Whereas like if you encountered a guy who was physically weak, like he like struggled to lift 10 pounds or some shit, that'd be a turnoff for you. For most women, I think, if he was physically weak.
I agree.
Does anyone have Jesus
I
Christ?
agree.
Like, hello?
I hope my future partner doesn't expect me to like attack the robber that breaks into the house.
Go change
Sure.
that tire, babe.
Okay, so here, do you think that men and women want different things?
Yes, totally. Like, probably women would want like a strong guy to defend them, protect them, but men would want like a caring woman or
Yeah.
a girl that cooks or something like that. So, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Depending on the person, everyone's looking for something different, and they're
Let's speak in
significant.
generalities. Let's speak in generalities.
I can't speak for everyone. That's the thing. But
Okay.
for me personally, can I speak on me personally?
Well, let me give you a layup here. Generally speaking, do women prefer taller men?
I guess, yeah.
You guess?
I have a friend who likes short guys.
Okay, but the exception does not make the rule. So, generally speaking, are women attracted to taller men?
Sure.
Okay. So, do we prioritize different things?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me ask. Well, I want to keep going around the table, but so do you think men and women want different things?
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously there are things that both genders want, but there's also
Yes.
like certain things that men want that differ from what a woman wants.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of already said it. Like, I hope my man can protect me because I know I wouldn't be able to do much if they were in danger.
Okay.
Yeah, I think men and women have different superficial
Alvin
preferences.
Sam
But
super chatted $49.99. Ladies, why do you have a problem about body count when women, in general, do not prefer to date a male virgin?
That's a good point. Women are often slut-shamed and men are often virgin-shamed, I guess. If you're-
It's all clown world at this point.
Yep. Continue with your, I don't know who's going, but.
right, so men and women I think have superficial preferences, very different. But
Yeah.
I think core values, I don't see any distinct differences,
Core
honestly.
values. Well, certainly physical traits are quite different, but I mean, couldn't a core value be not wanting a partner who is or was promiscuous?
Yeah, I think men and women who, whether that specific value matters to them, typically they attract each other in the long run. So
There are women who would prefer to date men that are not promiscuous, but I think men, generally speaking, have a much more invested interest in women who are not promiscuous or didn't have a promiscuous past and don't have a high body count. Far more than women. I'm not saying there are no women that care about body count, but it's far less than men.
okay, then I guess that could be an exception, but I think like just in general, like for example, family values, I think people who
Sure.
who prioritize them tend to attract each other, and people who don't tend to attract each other, and that's just how it kind of works. It just works out.
Okay. Although I wonder if even men who have high body counts, they still prioritize women with low body counts or wanting women with low body counts. Because maybe a guy who has difficulty getting women, he's going to just settle for whatever. So, I don't know. But go ahead, Cynthia.
In short, yes.
In short, yes. Thank you for your conciseness. Okay, Natasha.
Yes, women want protection and someone that provides for them, someone that provides stability, someone to give them new experiences in life, someone to advance them in the status of life or this, whatever. Yeah, that's it.
Word? So does that kind of address the double standard thing or no? Are you still stuck on that?
No, yeah, I'm still stuck on that when it comes to double standards with body count, yeah.
Okay, well, let me go through a list here then, because I have a couple things written down. So many women who here wants a guy who's funny? Just show of hands. Who here wants a funny guy who can make you laugh? Okay. Can y'all make men laugh, and are you funny?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would say many women want a guy who is funny, that can make them laugh, yet they are not funny themselves. Many women want a charismatic man, yet they are not charismatic themselves. Many women want a tall man, yet they are not tall themselves. You want a chivalrous man, but you are not chivalrous. You want a strong man, but you, physically anyways, you are not strong. People want things, both men and women want things in partners that they do not necessarily possess themselves.
You can control, like body count.
You gotta speak into the mic.
Sorry, when it's something like you can control, like body count, like no one's making you sleep with 250 girls, Like you're just doing it.
So
being
that should...
tall, whatever, those things you can't change. But when it comes to like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna be with this girl because she slept with 10 guys. Oh my gosh, she's such a slut. But you, on the other hand, slept with 250 girls. You don't have an opinion on the girl's body count. Your body count is high. Just stop.
That's like you can say
right
the same
there.
thing
The conversation's over.
That could be the same thing with you at the height. Like you can't demand somebody be 6 foot. You're 5'2".
Okay.
Well, you can, and the thing.
That's still my preference.
But body. Well, it's men's preference.
It's men's preference for the low body count.
It's a stupid preference that.
See, it's only stupid because you don't understand it, and it doesn't serve you. That's why you're very self-centered in the way you view things.
How does it serve you having a nice, clean girl?
Well, no STDs. The baby's definitely mine. She's not going to run away. Marital happiness. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Go ahead, speak. Go ahead.
Basically, men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries.
No, men are allowed to have preferences, but they shouldn't ridicule women when they're when they're having the same experience. Like you said, you went through therapy and things like that and that was how you dealt with it. It's like wouldn't you relate to a woman, I guess, who was going through the same thing? Like wouldn't you find something special? No, not special. That's horrible to say, but something in common,
I understand what you're saying for sure, but a lot of guys are just not that introspective and not that just like how you're not going to rationalize he's 5'4" and he makes $47,000 a year, and just how you're not going to kind of tiptoe around what you want. Neither are guys.
And you said that with the woman with a lower body count, you're guaranteed no STDs, the baby's yours, and this and that. How can we get that guarantee from a man who has a high body count then?
Well,
you can't.
Well, the baby thing.
That's why guys don't want you doing that.
I'm just saying what he said.
Well, that's another reason why body count matters, because it's an evo-psych reason, evolutionary psychology. If a woman's promiscuous, we've invented DNA tests in the past 40 years. I believe it was in the 1980s. If a woman's promiscuous, here's a better example. If a woman has 10 husbands and she's sleeping with all of them, who's the father? You don't know. In the past, anyways. Throughout all of human history. Now you can take a DNA test, and in some countries, it's actually in France, that's where I was born, you can't get it's illegal to get a paternity test in France, because apparently, according to the French authorities or some shit, it would be too destructive to society, because men would realize that they were cucked and their partner, there's infidelity, and that the kid's not theirs. And that's a real fear for men, to raise a child that you think is yours, women can't really relate to this one because if you have a kid, you know with certainty the kid is yours. Well, you laugh, but it is a genuine, real fear. That's one of the biggest L's a guy can take in his life is to, with his wife or partner or whatever, think he's had a kid with her, that's his kid, and it turns out it's not. It's just revealed infidelity, and it's revealed that that kid is not his. That's a huge L and a huge concern for men that women do not have. So that's why men, it's in our gut. If a woman's promiscuous, it's evolutionary psychology.
It's repulsive.
If she's promiscuous, you cannot guarantee paternity. You cannot guarantee that the child is yours.
I just think it's funny when guys have like a standard, women are just like, how dare you? And just like,
I think it's okay to have a preference, but I just don't think it's okay to shame anyone that doesn't align with that preference.
but you shame a guy by not dating him if he's like a shorty.
How are we shaming
I
him?
have not.
That's
That
I have
is
not
not
shamed.
shaming.
actually, so that's actually the number one shame a man can receive in this life is to be told that he's not good enough for reproduction.
But me personally, I said I didn't have a preference in height. So.
No, I'm not individually targeting you or attacking you at all. Like that's not
Wait,
what I'm trying to say.
Can you repeat what you just said about a man not being suitable for what? Can you just repeat what you said? Because I feel like I kind of missed it or misinterpreted it.
No, pay attention.
Okay, so you said that the body count thing, it's a stupid preference for men to have.
Yeah.
Why?
For anyone.
What would you say that same thing to a woman? What if a woman wanted a man with a low body count? Maybe she herself has a low body count and she doesn't want to date a player. She wants to date just like kind of a guy that isn't going to fuck around, not a fuck boy. She just wants a nice guy.
Having a preference isn't bad. It's the double standard that's bad.
Yeah.
No,
But we just-
the preference is a preference whether there's a double standard there or not.
Then you can have your preference. That's fine.
There's all kinds of double standards.
Yeah. And women are the ones left single at the end of the day anyways and complaining about being left single. So if you guys don't get it together, it's your ball to carry.
What makes you think women want to be in a relationship?
Let's see. All of biological science that has stemmed since the dawn of humanity.
Okay, but things are different now. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, people don't want to reproduce anymore. Got it. Thanks for clearing that up.
Well, some people
babies
don't.
are stopping in 2023. We're ending babies. Got it.
Wait.
Do you think that everybody gets in a relationship is gonna get married and have children? No.
Carson, you can start.
Red Pill Crip super chatted $50. It's amazing how much women have no clue how to be in a relationship with a man who is an asset to society. A man has to earn his abundance. A woman is just born, shows up and receives hers. Difference is when you don't
earn it, you don't respect it. Thank you, Red Pill Crip, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Is that your guys' point with the whole body
Dank
count thing?
Nick
that-
super chatted $50.
Dank naked.
High body count equals low ability to pair bond with women. Men don't lose the ability to pair bond as we don't make connections the same way as them. The more they do it, the less they can pair bond.
Yeah, I mean, pair bonding is another thing. If you've had 100 partners previously, you're going to bond with 101. Why didn't it work out with the past 100?
Zentians super chatted $99.99.
Zentians.
Guys, gaze horrifically upon the quixotic standards of rubbish whose egos are only overshadowed by the miles of dick they've taken with
Jesus
dwarf the
Christ.
Burj Khalifa in the UAE. Such a painful panel to
watch. Shout out to MLD. Gents, never settle for these types of women. Okay. Zentians.
They're not all bad on the panel. They're not all bad.
Okay.
But I am, huh?
Can I go back to the other
Yes,
thing?
go ahead.
So is your guys' point of like valuing body count because you guys claim that women get it easier than men do, so it's like they should be more...
Well, I mean,
No,
that's
it just
part
like
of it.
we just don't want to like look at you and then be like, oh yeah, like that's my girl, but like Bob up the street hit it, and then Joe at the fucking corner shop, and then this guy who fucking stalks her on Instagram, I know he fucked her. Like a guy doesn't want to like look at all like your entire resume of dicks and be like, just look at it. We just don't want to see that. Just like how you would like if you're dating a guy and you wouldn't want him following any of his ex-girlfriends on Instagram Or like if he was like a member of her fucking OnlyFans or something like that, you'd be like, what are you doing? Like, the fuck, get out of here. Guys is the same way. We don't like it. We just don't like it.
And it's and I don't have a problem with your preference. It's
Just telling you, like it's guys like that across the world. It's not like we have some giant like patriarchal community. We're like, all right, guys, get together, put on your thinking caps. How are we gonna oppress women this week? Okay, body count. Like, we don't just get together and think like that. But when you get out outside of the world and you travel around, you'll see that most guys just want a decent woman to come home to, that they know that the woman is not going to go run around on him. That's like what most guys want, period.
It's also interesting that I don't really get the sense that most of you here are particularly promiscuous or have high body counts. So why defend it?
It's not defending it. It's like he said he has a body count of like 250, but he's like, oh, I don't want to get any STDs. That's why I don't want a woman that has a high body count.
She said clean. That's why.
But you slept with 250 women.
Yes.
So how are you sure you're not going to get an STD?
I have in the past.
I'm going to be with you. How am I going to sure?
I have gotten it in the past, and that's why I tell people now, like, don't fucking do it.
Okay.
You know? Okay. No, I had to go get tests, and, you know, some guy next to me. I went and got this test one time. I was in Tokyo, and the way they have, like, the HIV test set up is, like, there's two doors in front of you. You don't know which one it is. One is the you have HIV door. The other one is the you don't have HIV. And it was me sitting next to this Japanese dude, and he was, like, freaking out and crying and losing his mind. And then I walked through the door, and I was fine. But
so you regret it? You regret having, like, a high body count?
I don't regret having a high body count, but I do regret
sleeping with the chick that gave you.
Sleeping with some of those chicks who are like, yeah, I'm totally clean. You don't have to use a condom. Like that, I regret. I've actually hooked up with a chick, and then she texted me when I got home. She's like, I actually have something to tell you. And I was like, bitch, you fucking Susia. I mean, how would you feel if you got home? He's like, oh, by the way, I have AIDS. You know? So
that would be a yikes.
No.
That would be a major yikes.